a tool shed, a wood shed. Okay? For example, in a small room away from the main house for storing or keeping things or animals or tools or vehicles, etc. Fine? Okay? So here the poet is describing something about the shade. Okay? Now let me read this stanza number 1 for you. Fine? Thus shade at the bottom of our garden with a spider's web hanging around the door. The hinges are strictly and creak in the wind. When I am in a bed, I lie and listen. I'll open that door one day. Okay? Let me explain this stanza number 1. Fine. So the poet is describing about shade that is at the bottom of his garden. Hardly anyone goes inside the shade. Therefore, the door joints have become rusty and make a lot of noise whenever the wind makes them move. When the poet is peacefully lying in the bed, he sometimes hears the noise from the shade. The poet wishes to be able to open the door of the shade someday. Fine? Okay. Now let's move with next stanza. There is a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there is someone staring at me each time that I pass. I will peep through that window one day. Fine? Okay. So the poet discussed how he wishes to stare inside the shade. The shade has a dusty old window on its side. 3 glass panes of the windows are broken. Whenever the poet passes through the shade, he gets the feelings as if someone was staring at him. To find out, the poet wishes to peep inside the shade. Fine? Now next stanza. My brother says there is a ghost in the shade who hides under the rotten floorboards, and if ever dare to set foot inside, he will jump out and chop off my head. But I will take a peek one day. Okay. Fine. The poet discusses how his brother warns him about the ghost inside the shade. The poet brothers talks about the presence of the ghost inside the shade and warns the poet that if he went inside the shade, the ghost would chop off his head. However, this does not much frighten the poet. He still wished to one day step inside the shade and see for himself. Okay? And last stanza. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shade for his den. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises, and the spider has been gone from his way. Since I don't know when I will go into that shade one day soon. Fine? Okay. In last stanza, the poet is able to overcome his fears. Fine? He is able to understand that there is no ghost inside the shade. He understands that there is actually nobody inside the shade who stares at him or makes those strange noise. Fine? The spider too is no longer there. Okay? His brother had been telling him lies. Why? Because he wanted to retain the shade for his own self. So therefore, very soon the poet would be able to sit in the fort inside the shade. However, he says that this can't happen immediately. Clear? So, this one is the explanation of this poem, The Shade. I hope you're clear about this poem. Fine? Okay. Bye. Have a nice day, bacha.